So
And
so
here
revenge game,
we
you say?
are. No, wait. This is the episode.
This
This
is the
is
episode. This is the
the
episode, boys.
annual Premier League podcast. The Premier League is back this Friday, and we are going to give you guys the definitive list, all our predictions for Golden Boot, individual awards, best kits, worst kits, all
Top
that.
six.
Top six, everything. And we're gonna do maybe put a little parlay together at the end of the episode. Start
Ooh
cooking
la
up some
la.
stuff.
Ooh la
But
la.
first, Chris wants to talk about how Ruben Amorim beat United in a preseason game. So
Hey, I
go
think
ahead,
it's
Chris.
relevant.
It's very relevant because the fans were calling him Ruben's Cameron. Guys were making a hate watch. We should pump Amorim for what he put us through for half a season. They were going crazy. Plus, United leaked that a lot of coaches, I don't know, whoever works in that building,
You sure that was a leak, or was that just media talking?
Nah, I think
people
it
on
was a
Twitter
leak.
talking.
It was a leak. It was a leak because a lot of people picked it up.
Curious. Could have been.
No, because it's like I think it was unnecessary. I think they were looking for a PR win. Like we were right in letting Amorim go. I think that's what it was. So they showed up over there and they got dominated. I'm sorry to say that. I looked at the game a couple of times.
You saw one of their goals. It was like platinum, like honoring ball.
Yes. So it's like in 2 months, they already figured out how to play Amorim ball, and United couldn't figure out. But listen, there's more context to it. United probably didn't have the players. Plus, he was fighting to get rid of players. It's just the irony was funny. You know, it doesn't say how the season is gonna go, but for emotionally attached, invested fans, they were heartbroken.
I mean, you could see the way he was celebrating with his players and stuff. And you would think they won the Champions League, man.
That was his Champions League. You guys show me out the door. Yeah, that's my wait until Slot gets a job. I'm gonna support Slot too. And then destroy Liverpool.
But it's gonna be really hard for Slot. But when will Slot play Liverpool when he's coaching Grimsby Town? They're not.
So mean.
Yeah. It was a preseason game. I put zero stock into it.
Yeah, you know what preseason game we're also putting zero stock into? Man City getting destroyed by Arsenal.
Did you know?
Community Shield.
I read this stat today. 37% of Arsenal's trophies are community shields.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that.
It's a bunch of plates. It's a bunch of plates, dude.
Did you?
The
What,
plate
did you
fell
have
on
any
Declan
takeaways?
Rice as they were lifting it up. But no. But I will say this: they beat the crap out. They beat the shit out of Man City.
Do you have any concerns about City?
Yeah.
Like just from that game?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I will say this: that I saw flashes of good things, and it took Pep a year. It really did. I saw some flashes, but I saw some shit that was like, "Oh God Almighty, help me!"
Let me ask you a question. A question, because who was in that midfield? It was Elliot Anderson and who?
Kovacic.
So I'm assuming Kovacic is not going to start. It's going to be Boadi when he comes, right?
Yeah,
if he comes,
it will be.
Assuming he comes, it might be Enzo Fernandez if these latest rumors are coming out.
Nah, the Enzo links are done because there was a deadline. So because I was trying to think, like, bro, like you're gonna have Boadi. Boadi is not a guy that's gonna. I just don't get exactly the recruiting strategy. You get Boadi and Elliot Anderson in the same window. Why? Because Elliot Anderson is not the guy, the box-to-box midfield. I don't get it. But, hey, I'm not a coach. They'll figure it out.
I don't know if they were operating under the assumption they were not going to lose Rodri and they're going to have a year to really find, or maybe Enzo's got an idea of how he wants to play, to which,
Okay.
I got to wait and see.
But it makes sense because based on how Chelsea was playing, they had Caicedo and Hernandez.
Right.
So it was, so I could see it. Although Hernandez just ventures to the front a lot. And sometimes he, scores goals and
he's not a defense. His defense is ass, bro. Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's his biggest flaw.
They'll figure it out, I guess. What about Foden?
Look, well, honestly, good. I'm glad that you brought him up because we're gonna get into him as we get into this Premier League preview / predictions. because
Yeah.
I got some words about him. So with
Oh,
all that
like
being
that?
said, there's okay. Before we actually go into the predictions aspect, I think it's probably important to talk about the state of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Going into this season, you know, having teams change so many coaches, the top
Well,
teams, the league looks very, very different without Pep being there. We've had Klopp gone for a couple years now. Obviously, Slot's gone. The amount of changes that Chelsea make, I mean, it's a lot. It's very, very different. Michael Carrick is coaching United.
it's the worst for Mark Overton because Arteta is gonna be the tenured coach and the big boss. He's gonna be
I
running
think-
things.
Well, what
I
does
think
that mean?
I think it reflects, and I know I'm going to get hate for this. First of all, I don't think Arteta's the best coach in the Premier League, but he is currently the standard bearer. He won the trophy last year. He did all that. I think it reflects poorly. If you look at the other coaches at the top clubs in their respective leagues, you got Luis Enrique, you got Jose Mourinho, you got Hansi Flick, you got
Vincent
Company, who's doing the business in Bayern. And then you got Arteta. There's a definite levels difference to all of them. But that being said, Arteta did what he had to do last year to win. This Sunday to win. He's been backed. He's been given time, and they're rewarding rewards for it. Credit to him. What do I think of the state of the Premier League this season? I think it is wide open.
Yeah, I think
it is wide open.
tight.
I think it is. I think this is probably the weakest the top six have been, or at least the most uncertain as a whole going into
I think
season.
that's the latter word you use is the better word, uncertain.
You know what?
I don't know about weak. But I don't know about weak. Those rosters.
No, what I mean by weak is like if you
look
at the top six teams today versus 10 years ago versus 20 years ago, I would venture to guess that we would say that the teams of yesteryear probably are more stacked than they are today. Isn't my personal opinion.
Isn't it?
However, it is so much tougher to win because I call it like that bloated mid-table is so much better than it was all those years ago, right? So I think that's interesting. I think there's a real chance for the Premier League to sweep all the European competitions. You know, funny enough, the one that they're the least favored to win is the Champions League, which says everything I've been trying to say today, right? So I think it's wide open. It's there for the taking. But have teams done enough to stamp themselves this summer as real contenders?
So the Arteta thing can go two ways. He can crash and burn, and you've been proven right. I think we dodged a bullet. When I say we, the other teams besides Arsenal, that they did not get Vinny because they still have the limited firepower.
It was never going to happen. Continue.
And they're flirting with the idea of getting Victor Osimhen. Okay, so
that's way more real than Vinny. Way more real.
So they still have Victor Gyökeres. For some reason, Barcelona wants Victor Gyökeres.
Maybe they had a mistake in their plans earlier, and they mistaken Victor for Victor, and they actually really
must be that. It must be that, right? So it's either they crash and burn because I still don't believe in their offense, but defensively though, they're a solid midfield. They got Bruno.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a second.
All right, so I'm not gonna go.
Who didn't even play well in that game, by the way. He didn't play well in that Community Shield at all. Like he was not important at all.
So, for the other scenario where because I don't believe their offense, right? So there's that. I still feel like there's a possibility that because Arteta won, there's a monkey off his back. So now everybody's playing with house money. So freedom.
Well, do you feel with Arsenal being the top team? What do you think that means for the Premier League? Does that still mean like what you think about Arsenal? Does that mean that the Premier League still gets the same respect to other people right now than maybe last year, the year before, the last 5 years, 10 years?
I think the reputation precedes it for sure.
It's just a different style. The thing is, they're the standard bearer. They're not explosive offensively.
They're
So-
win oriented. They're win oriented.
Yeah, exactly, right? They're just a different style. It's almost like the Mourinho teams that was playing defense.
It's a very I
right?
love that comparison, Chris.
Right. So
I
it's
love
like
that.
so it's not that it's just like it's the times like until
Right.
you
Wow.
have you dethrone them, right? The thing is, a season you need to plan for the amount of games, the amount of trophies, the amount of competition you're gonna participate in. And I told you that to become a great coach in the EPL, you need to factor those in too. And I think last season he managed his team. He was able to bring his team to the UCL final and win the EPL. So he gets full credit. So now the other coaches like Iraola in Liverpool, who has an interesting style, but you burn out players in that style. So can you do that? Can you manage that? This is what I'm gonna look for this season is the people with the explosive style versus like the conservative teams. Who
Right.
is able to last and win trophies.
Yeah.
And then, by the
Well-
way, if you compare with Luis Enrique, this is the caveat, right? When you win, everybody forgets the context of everything. PSG is playing in Ligue 1. They can afford to play a B team during the most of the
Yeah,
season.
that's true. That's that's always a fair
Right.
point. Well, I
So-
think we
Yeah.
know we recognize that. The Premier League's
What
the
do you
one
think
league
about
that
it,
is
Mark?
not like that. It's go 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 go.
Yeah. But what do you think about the state of the league, Mark?
No, I think it's I do think it's in a weird place because I mean anytime you lose Pep, and this is not me being biased to Man
Mhm.
City. Anytime you lose a manager like Pep, it's like losing a manager like Fergie. Like what do we think the couple years before Pep? Between 2014, what was it? 2014, 2015, 2016. Those 3 years I think it was before Pep became manager of Man City where Ferguson left. I mean, Klopp was there, but what was the state of it was worrisome, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that it's a little bit of the same right now, to which we don't
Well,
know.
Is it the
mean,
Leicester
When
City
Fergie
year?
left, though, there was
When they-
Fergie left. Mourinho was
remember
still
when-
kicking around. There was still guys.
Yeah, but we're
there to
we're
take-
talking about a guy that won there was the winningest manager in England for the last
Well,
20 years.
I think there's no juggernaut. Is probably what you're trying to say, right? A
Yeah,
juggernaut.
no, I'm
and a
trying to say that
proven
there's
coach.
if we're
the market. I think
comparing,
it's
it's great. But I think if you're comparing eras, this is the most uncertain it's been, or the most unpredictable it's been.
for sure. So I am a little bit worried because I'd like to give the Premier League the benefit of the doubt, but we have a Ballon d'Or World Cup winner going to La Liga. Like there's so much reason to be more optimistic about what La Liga can be for the next few years moving forward than what the Premier League is showing us at the moment. Having said that, the Premier League's the Premier League, and we're going to see great football. I really do believe we're going to see great football. Not only from great football in terms of the standards are high. Arsenal are the standard, and whether they play beautifully or not, they are the standard, and they win football games, and they do a good job at if you want to really get into the nitty and gritty, like their organization is great. Them deciding when they want to press or not is great.
They have good athletes.
So there's things when you really want to look into how they play that it's like you can really, really appreciate. So I think moving forward for the Premier League, I think it's they still have great players in it. It's not like they haven't. They still have amazing players. So I think it's really just what they show this season.
But anyway, either way, it's going to be really fun. By the way, Thomas is joining us shortly, so
absolutely. I am so excited. Yeah, I'm excited, man. So I think we want to go into before we get into a couple individual awards. I think going top 6, man. Like really.
You don't think we should start with the awards and then finish with
well,
the top 6?
It's
because we'll kind of hit points on the way to build up to our big reveal, right? So I think
I totally understand. No, I was just looking at the.
Yeah, no, all good. Oh, good. Are you guys ready to start with? You guys ready to get right into it? Start off with our Golden Boot winner.
Let's do it.
I mean, the Marks and
I don't really
Thomas
know.
all.
I don't really like. I don't really have like I don't
There's
have
no
like an
analysis
essay to
here.
defend this. I think there's somebody else that has to.
Yeah, well, Mark Thomas and I all said Erling Haaland runs away with it. However, the caveat being that this City team is not going to. It does appear very different than City teams in the past. So we'll see if Haaland can recreate his goal scoring prowess, and they has it under Pep. But it's Erling Haaland. He does it. He's done it before Pep. He'll do
I
it after.
give him
Like that's
I
just
give
my
him
prediction.
until January to hear the either the Real Madrid or the Barcelona rumors, because he's gonna have some sort of a face off with Moresca because he's not satisfied with the results.
You
Yeah, but my Golden Boot runner is gonna be Isak. This is I would say somewhat shits and giggles, but I think he's due for a season like that.
Mhm.
Before he got injured and stuff, he was one of the hottest players, hottest strikers in the league. And you have an offensive coach now, so you're gonna get a bunch of wingers, so that should free him to do whatever. And you have Wirtz feeding him balls in the back. The way they use Wirtz, the way I noticed that he uses Wirtz is more like a striker. So it's basically they're gonna play some sort of a 4-4-2. So Wirtz and Isak are strikers and
At
shit.
least when they're on the ball, it's probably going
Yeah.
to look like a 4-3-3. But yeah.
So
I
yeah,
get what you're saying. I just have no faith in Wirtz as a player in the Premier League whatsoever. I also
Gotcha.
think, do you guys have any? Does Igor Thiago deserve a shout out here? Does Antoine Semenyo deserve a shout out here? Does any of the guys from
probably.
last year kind of sneak their way into this conversation? Or does
course.
anyone new kind of make their way in?
Of course. Ollie Watkins is leaving, right? So he's not in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Igor
could see,
Thiago.
I could
Who else
see
was
here
talking about?
Thiago. Definitely, that's a good shout, Chris. That's a really good shout.
Gal Pedro?
I weirdly was gonna say, I was weirdly gonna say, you. Wow, Jesus,
Oh,
stole it
my
right
bad,
out
my
of my
bad.
mouth. Wow. No, it's good. Great minds think alike. No, I think that
Mhm.
if there's a couple of guys that could
Victor
surprise. I mean, I'm
Chris,
intrigued.
disrespect is
I'm intrigued to see how Victor Gyökeres is used, but who knows?
Yeah.
disrespect. He's gonna be
I mean, we
doing.
don't even think he's starting like most of Arsenal's important games, most likely, right? Like it's probably going to be Havertz again.
I don't
So
know.
we'll
If
see.
it's
We'll
Havertz
see.
or him, I mean, Havertz is a boss, man. Jeez,
He
Yeah.
is a boss.
just like him.
He's always he's find his way on the pitch. You got to give it to him. All right. Next category. Who do you guys believe will be the player of the season?
I got
Player of the
Ryan.
season, I am going Bukayo Saka because I think
Why?
that this is redemption year time. I'm hoping that he's healthy the whole year because if he is, then he will be the best player for Arsenal. And if he's the best player for Arsenal, he's the best player in the Premier League because they're the best team in the Premier League. I do believe when he's at his best, he is their best player, not Declan Rice.
I agree with all that, but we just haven't seen it in so long.
I understand
That
that, but it's a fresh season.
he,
The season ain't
I mean,
started yet, Mark.
he wasn't healthy enough to play in the World Cup and they needed him. I don't
Bro,
know. I mean,
rat's ass.
no,
me
I think
personally,
I'm with Mark right there.
for similar reasons, for what you said, I'm going Bruno Guimaraes. I think that, Bruno Fernandes won it this year. I think they're going to give it to an Arsenal player should Arsenal win the league in this upcoming season. And I feel like Bruno Guimaraes is going to have the spotlight, and he's he's a phenomenal player, and he's really what they're missing in that midfield. He's giving everything that Zubamendi didn't. And I think that difference is going to elevate him in that light. And I think he's going to end up getting the reward as a result.
I think it's gonna
What do you
be
think,
Ryan.
Chris?
I think it's gonna be Ryan Cherky. I think just think of Enzo Maresca's season with Chelsea where they were hot fire. It was the season that I forgot his name. The English boy that they didn't call to the World Cup.
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer was going crazy as a number 10 and winger. So I feel like Maresca is gonna give Turkey all the freedom that he wants, and he's gonna explode. He's gonna go crazy. And then he's gonna probably stuff that probably Pep did not allow him to do. Maresca's gonna let him just like do whatever he want. I feel like he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna do some shit that we haven't seen.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Thomas, for posterity's sake, says Erling Haaland will take it this year. Which, I mean, to do that, he's going to have to score at least 34 goals this season coming
And
up. So
City
we'll
are going
see.
to have to be 1 point
Mhm.
behind first place for winning the title.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of other contenders, I mean, there's so many. I mean, Bruno won it last year. Can he repeat? I mean, I don't.
There's a lot of different players. You never know, man. I think Declan Rice could be up for it depending on the season Arsenal have.
Declan Rice. We'll see. But more interesting for me this season is manager of the season.
Yeah, but manager of the season, I feel like for this year more than any year of recent memory, it is very, very interesting because of the fact that obviously, Pep is not there. We have guys that have changed teams, great coaches that have changed teams. So I'm just gonna go first. I think it's gonna be, and I'm not sure Chris is gonna be happy at this. I think it's gonna be Areola, man. I think that, and you guys talk about the way he plays, like the way he manages his tactics. You gotta run, and you run hard. They ran hard for Klopp, man. They ran hard for Klopp. They ran all day long for Klopp. If they do the same for him and they play and he gets the players, and I think that he'll have a good mix of young and old players.
Let me
Not
tell you.
old players, but young and seasoned really well.
I'll let you go, Chris, but let me respond. Let me give you some pushback on the Areola thing, and then I'll get Chris, take his Liverpool hat and go in. Well, his slot hat, because he's still loyal to the soil. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. But I think Areola, remember earlier I said, I don't think Arteta's the best manager in the Premier League. I think it's Areola. That being said, I don't think Liverpool have the squad yet. And they have a lot of guys coming off of injury. To me, there's way too much question marks given his style of play to name Areola. But let's say Areola had Liverpool of 2 years ago, I might have said yes. I might have said he'd runs away with it. But that's just how I view Liverpool this year, and we'll get more into it as we talk about the top six and everything. But,
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So you can go look last year. Apparently, Bournemouth lost their first. I think they won their 10th game, but they lost. They may have lost the first 9 or something, or drew. His style takes a while to get to for the players to get it. So you might have to count that too. Right, but once they figure it out. What you brought in, he doesn't have the players yet. If they get Barcola and the Senegalese Mbaye, they're gonna have the wingers on both sides. I think they're probably gonna let Gakpo go. So you're gonna have Rio. You have Munoz, the Spanish kid, who's already
Yes,
so, yeah. Nah, Chiesa, I don't even know if he's staying or not. But I'm not counting him for the muscle, the speed. If Barcola comes, you're gonna have Munoz on this wing.
But
on the other wing, you're gonna have Rio. You're gonna have Mbaye and stuff. So you have young enough players to run the style, and then you have you're gonna have. I think they still needs probably a player, a midfielder. I think I looked at the defense. They have what they need. I don't know if you guys seen Jacket. Jacket is pretty good. He's a future star.
Well, I mean, he's also coming off of injury, so I guess we'll see. But Chris, who do you got it for your manager of the season?
No, I put De Zerbi because I always loved De Zerbi because when he was there, I just thought he was breaking ground. Whether or not he has the players to fully implement his style. His style reminds me of Slot. It's a baiting style where they wait for you to overcommit on the press and then they kill you. Whether he has the offensive tools to complete. Is Madison coming back? I don't know.
Kulusevski. Another one that's been out for a while.
Goat.
Yeah.
They're in for Osimhen too. And there's rumors of Leao. So if they get
I don't believe that they get those done.
I think Osimhen might happen.
I think Leao is very desperate, and he's only 40 million, probably.
Well, I guess
I'm not saying one of them. Yes, not all of them.
bro.
No, I think that's a fair shot.
The way Tottenham has been signing players, bro. I'm not.
I know it's weird.
They-
it's weird, right? Just
they-
survive. Just survive. Just survive. Just survive.
They've
Spin the
snapped this. They've snapped in their midfield and defense has been just beefed to the point where
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
like, I'm expecting solid things from Tottenham this year, not to be fucking 17th. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think with De Zerbi, that's impossible. I think he's too good. But
Who's your manager of the year?
I think it's going to be Arteta, just because typically the one who wins the Premier League, spoiler alert for our predictions in a minute, does tend to win manager of the season. But I want to give a shout out to two guys that we
criticize his football and then say that he's going to be manager of the year.
I mean, it's an award given to the guy who wins the Premier League most of the
No,
time.
it's not. No, it's
Who won
not. I think Iraola can
Who won
finish
last year?
third and he'll win
Who
the
won last
award.
year? I don't think they're finishing third, buddy. But
We can't go on that race. Okay.
I think, okay, but if I'm going to talk about, I want to give a shout out to two guys. Oliver Glasner, now at Nottingham Forest. I think that, talk about landing in an optimum spot with the squad. They have a superstar, Morgan Gibbs-White. Igor Jesus has been playing really well in this preseason. They got Ousmane Diomande, who's an incredible center back out of Sporting Lisbon. Their midfielder, this guy Ibrahim Sangare, who I had mentioned on the podcast a few years ago. He's been on Forest for 2 seasons now, but he's a solid player. And there's still time in the transfer window for them to get a striker. They're linked to Mateta, which if that happens, they now have a bona fide Premier League proven striker.
And fool, bro.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Apparently they were impressed in the French camp because the French players, they didn't play with him that much, so they don't know. But if you see, he was after Mbappe, he was immediately the number 2 striker.
Mm-hmm.
This is how good he is. He impressed the whole camp.
Yeah, and then the other guy I want to talk about is Régis Lebris, the Sunderland manager, because they didn't do much this window, they didn't lose much, I should say.
Which is equally as important, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. And if they're going to finish in and around where they finished last season, that's another
where they want,
which is where they
want to be, which is where they want to be.
But that would be an impressive job for Régis Lebris to do it twice in a
establish themselves in the Premier League, get a little bit of
as long as
longevity going in the Premier League.
He keeps Xhaka. Xhaka wanted to go find his coach Alonso in Chelsea.
Thomas also chose De Zerbi. Thomas and Chris thinking alike, but it's a great pick. It's a great pick.
It's a great.
No, what's good, but what may make or break teams this year are young players. Obviously, Young Player of the Season is the next award we want to talk about, and I think that the three of us picked the same player because
we did
of what we know we saw last season. By the way,
before we get into that, and we'll talk about our reasons why, I do want to, because it's pretty unanimous. I do want to give some shout outs, including Thomas' pick of Brian Maggio, the 17-year-old Aston Villa striker who looked incredible this preseason. The other guy I want to focus on is Sean Storr from Newcastle. New player. I think he's 17 or 18. They just brought him in. And it's one of those things that, if you're watching the preseason and Newcastle's kind of lack of business, he right now looks like their best midfielder.
No. And
that means that in a team as depleted as Newcastle have been, he's going to play a lot. And if he plays a lot and he plays well and he plays like he's been performing in the preseason, he's gonna garner some votes for this award. But the three of us all picked Rio Numunoya from
Liverpool.
Did I pronounce that right?
I think it's Nguma.
Nguma. Excuse me. Rio Nguma. Rio Nguma from Liverpool.
Shout out Rio Nguma.
And I think it's going to come down to one reason. First of all, fantastic talent. He played incredibly well in the Under-21s World Cup this past summer, and also played incredibly well for Liverpool last season. But the other thing is,
Tuchel invited him to the camp for the England national team.
Yep. But the other thing is, they haven't brought anyone in to kind of compete for his playing time, which to me signals that they're putting they're handing him the keys to that position on the wing.
I think they're
So-
really gonna play some football through him. I think
Mhm.
that I feel like he's one of the biggest reasons why Iraola even signed for Liverpool to be their manager is that
he
excited
makes
to
him an
have
attractive
him.
prospect.
I think that I think low key and Chris has Isak as his Golden Boot winner. I think Iraola is excited to be playing with Isak as well. So
Yeah, but I think if Liverpool get whatever the rumor, I think Homa is gonna share. It's gonna be 50-50. He's not gonna start all those. He's not. I think there's a level of polishness that he doesn't have yet. You can see it. There's certain things that he's good at that. Like for example, he's used to starting on the left. Now he's
right.
using him on the right.
Cutting back in on the
Yeah,
right, and
apparently it's not as effective. I see Liverpool fans complaining already. So,
well, he's
but
still improving
it's
himself,
growth.
so
Exactly. It's for
Mhm.
growth, right?
I'm sure the three of us are thinking that he's going to be taking another step this season.
Yep.
So
Yep.
He's definitely
Yeah.
going to be given the platform to do so. Young players do this thing, right? Where we've watched Premier League long enough to know that they burst onto the scene and then sometimes they plateau a little bit and then they
Yep.
make that second jump. Rio hasn't really had that plateau yet.
no,
And
he
I
hasn't.
assume
Yeah, I don't think I think they've managed his playing time well
they
enough.
did.
Oh.
Slot did great at managing him last season and bringing
So
him
maybe
on
it's
slowly.
time for him to be unleashed to an extent.
Yeah, and I think it's it's going to be an interesting case study because he has all the talent in the world, and we're looking at potentially a generational player. I also want to give a quick shout out to Harry Howell from Brighton.
By the way, shout out to Engel Moha's mom. She's a baddie.
Okay, thank you, Chris. But Harry Howell
Shout
from
out.
Brighton, another Brighton find these gems every year, and he's another one that looks he looks the part. So those are the kind of the guys I think we got to look out for beginning of the season. But Rio Nagamoa.
What about okay? So newcomer into a team / signing of the season, because we got a lot of players coming in, a lot of names changing, teams, faces in new places. I don't know. I'm trying to rap. Sorry. But no, seriously, a lot of players changing teams, big signings. So, Chris, who's your prediction for signing of the season if it may happen even?
Signing of the season, if Barcola comes, he's gonna come. Liverpool is trying to nickel and dime PSG.
If he doesn't come, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to come on this podcast and I'm going to laugh at
Laugh
for the
Right.
entire
terribly
episode.
hard, like ridiculously
Nah,
hard.
but you should have done it for something that's like more like because I think they're gonna pay it. I think both teams want this because PSG already got his replacement, so he's gonna be surplus to requirement. So yeah, so it's a formality, but yeah, since he's not there, I said he might not come, but he's gonna come. I would say if he comes, he's gonna get a lot of starting, which is he was not getting in PSG. He is a direct improvement over Gakpo. Gakpo is more probably because he has less talent, less.
Is Barclay's best side his left side?
I think so.
So do you think that would affect Rio if Barclay?
I think
Rio's
Rio. No, I think they're gonna put Rio on the right from what I've seen.
Okay, gotcha.
He's gonna play on the left. I think Gakpo is probably headed to Tottenham. Apparently, they already agreed and stuff. I don't know why De Zerbi wants him, but De Zerbi sees something, I guess. So Gakpo's gonna go. Yeah. And Gakpo probably, if I'm Gakpo, I would feel disrespected too, because even myself, I'm looking at Gakpo like I talked so much shit about Gakpo last season. I think he probably needs a new scenery and shit. Yeah.
So Barkla for Chris.
Yeah. Mark, I mean, we already talked about Bruno G, but that seems to be your pick. So I'm gonna.
I do like. I don't think he's going to be Player of the Year, but I do think he's going to be signing of the season. The two don't necessarily go hand in hand. I think he's signing of the season because I like you mentioned, and I'm not going to go deep into it. I think he's exactly what they're missing in the midfield.
Can we laugh at Zubimendi? He should have come to Liverpool.
Do you want? What?
Before I get into mine, I want to point out that Thomas. I guess he's still having trouble.
Oh no, we don't gotta say it. No, Elliot
Anderson.
Anderson, the Man City signing. Yeah, no, we get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
and we'll talk about Elliot Anderson a little bit more in a minute. But I'm picking, because I also agree with Mark. I think it's going to be Bruno G. I think that's a phenomenal sign. I think he's player of the season and he's a signing of the season. But I'm going to go with Andre Santos out of Man United, and that's a little bit of a bias pick. But I think, and I'm going to torch them a little bit later. Spoiler. But the lack of transfer business from this squad means that this kid is the only person we have that can play in that defensive midfield position naturally right now. And I think because he's going to get the minutes and the playing time, he does have quality. I think it's going to show a little bit. And I think it's enough playing for a club like Man United to get that kind of recognition.
See, I'll let Man United live, from the, but
I have only the highest expectations for my club. That's
biggest disappointment for the season.
Ooh, the more fun topics are coming.
It's pretty sad because I think there's two City players here. I'm going with Phil Foden. I think that he's lost it. I think it's it. Don't know. Don't have any specifics to it. I don't have any,
Do you want to
point out any one thing? I just think it's done.
Do you think that Pep Guardiola may have shattered his confidence or some shit?
No, I think it's his personal life that
is baby making.
I think Phil Foden's such an interesting case study that talent isn't always enough, because he's supremely talented.
That's fair. That's fair points. I just think his confidence is just gone. I don't know if he can ever get it back. Is my point.
Let's talk about it in a different way. The position that I see Maresca playing him as a straight number 10. Is it that style of player that cannot succeed in the Premier League? What is it that he's not doing that you think?
I think it's a few things, and I'll let Mark.
He can't keep the ball, man. He can't play in small spaces the way he used to be able to. He needs to be able to have time to look up and find what he's trying to do, whether that's dribbling up. I find that he makes the wrong decisions when it comes to the passes he makes. I just think that he's his decision making has gone out the window. I don't know what's happened.
You know how we talk sometimes on this podcast about this type of player like a João Felix or a Jadon Sancho or an Antoine Griezmann, that they're this like unicorn where they don't necessarily have a set position, but you kind of have to build an offense around them. Phil Foden reminds me of that.
Yeah.
And in a different era, I think he would have been everything we thought he could be. If you play him as a second striker, if you play him as kind of like a false nine, right? I think he's got utility. But you're like, he's not playing with confidence right now, which the only way you can get that back is to play well, and he's not.
Yeah, I know he's going to get the playing time, but I'm definitely worried that he will be,
let me say
the biggest disappointment. That's why I picked him.
I think some of this is tactics based, in position based.
Was your pick tactic based or position based, or both, or everything?
No, but like I remember when he was on fire, he was not a number 10. He was more like a winger that's inside. That's what I remember from Phil Foden. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
he played
yes and no. He played, but he also could play like a number 8 kind of.
Yeah, but he was also playing wherever he was tucked in on that right side of the pitch.
Correct.
But when he was deployed as a winger or an 8, he had De Bruyne and Rodri around him.
Yeah.
He had, that midfield just isn't the same.
Maybe I'm attributing what he went through to the midfield that was the midfield against Arsenal.
Because it allowed him to kind of operate freely when you have those two guys doing the work, right?
Very true.
And by the way, this is just observation. This, I'm just like, off the top of my head, like, cause I was just looking at like somebody like Wirtz as a number 10 who makes great decisions all the time. But the problem is last season, I think he didn't have the players around him making runs, and sometimes he's too slow, right? I'm looking at the way Areola is using him. He's saying to him, no, I don't want you to stay in the middle of the field, like, and then all the players are looking at you, waiting for
Maresca's using it.
Not Maresca, Areola, I mean. I'm talking about
Wirtz.
Wirtz.
No, I'm just comparing to number 10 position. Is it a problem where the league, when you have those low blocks and having a number 10 that's just like, in the middle of the field surrounded by people, and then you're trying to find a pass, I don't think he's gonna be effective. The way I see Areola is using words, it's more
Like a
like
shadow striker.
make a run. Yeah, make a run
Yeah.
as a striker, and then
Maybe-
somebody's gonna go with you.
Maybe
This is-
that'd be
this-
good for Foden. I mean,
I actually think in this Premier League that's his ideal position.
yeah,
I think he'd be super
maybe
effective.
Foden will fit better at Liverpool.
Yeah. Maybe.
Who's your
Chris,
pick for or Chris? Who's your pick for biggest?
sticking with
If we want to stay with the same team,
I'm gonna go Elliot Anderson. I think
screw you, man. How about
unfortunately, it's gonna be the same. The price tag. He's not gonna live up to the price tag as one, right? And I think he's not as silky as Man City players as usually are. I think there's gonna be a lot of question like, what does he do? He's gonna get some balls and stuff, but I feel like this season, maybe next season, he's gonna like grow into the role, whatever. But I feel like this season, the price tag is gonna be like, where is the guy that we signed for 100? I think Wadzi, for example, is probably gonna stand out, and I think he's gonna like it's gonna be like the contrast is gonna be too much. They're gonna ask like, what exactly does he do?
I think you have the potential to be correct, but I also want to throw in the caveat that I believe if any player is going to hurt or be affected by Rodri not being there the most, it's Elliot Anderson, right? Like partnering alongside Rodri would have, not only given him that stability in the back, but also allowed Elliot Anderson to kind of express himself on the ball. Where now he's kind of looked at the guy coming in to fill Rodri's shoes, which is kind of a tall task to me. Anyway.
Yeah, I hate life. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, similar to what Chris was saying, my pick is Morgan Rogers. Because we've talked about him on the pod before. He kind of seems like an empty calorie player. Like he's somebody that looks good but doesn't.
Yeah, messed up.
I mean, for 117 million pounds.
Yeah, no, it is a absolute duck ton of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for a guy that he had a good season at Aston Villa, but we got to look at the coach. We got to look at how he was used, and he's just not going to be used in the same way in Alonso's Chelsea. So I think there's the stats won't necessarily match what he did last year.
I want to push back on this.
Go ahead.
I did not look at Leverkusen when Alonso was there, but I'm pretty sure Alonso is the one that insisted. They're like, hey, we need to have him. So I think he has a specific role in mind for Morgan Rogers. Where is he going to play him? A winger or number 10?
Well, if you look at the way he set up in Leverkusen and assume you're going to play the same way, he plays with two number 10s behind a striker. Kind of like Amarim.
Okay.
So he'll be like a right 10 or a left 10 or something.
Like so it's probably gonna be him and Cole Palmer behind
Pedro.
Behind
João Pedro. And that's very fluid. And that's good, but I just don't know.
So he probably signed Morgan Rogers because Morgan Rogers has some technical ability too, and he scores a lot of goals if you give him to. So probably for pressing because he has the legs. It can work. I'm not sure it's not gonna work. It can work. We'll see. We'll see.
Sorry, and I think Thomas McBruno.
Yeah, he just think he won't repeat the season he had last year, which I think is fair.
Let me say something about Bruno. He's a great player. I always maintained that I never liked him as a number 10, as the orchestrator. He gets a lot of assists because he always goes for the home run, but I don't think he can dictate the tempo in a possession team, which is what the criticism that I've seen that,
I think that's fair.
I see people saying that United was playing great. Bruno came back, the possession game. So it's like, I don't know, like, for example, like I see a proposal come from Turkey for Bruno, but Manchester United maintain that they're not going to sell him. And Bruno has not re-signed his contract. So it's interest. You did?
Well, he's there for another 2 years, I think.
I mean, that's what they're trying to keep him to sign. I think another extension or something along.
I think
really?
So.
I didn't hear that.
Stop him to keep him from going to what was it, Galatasaray?
Galatasaray.
Oh, we'll see. It is also
or
might be because that happens. Every day.
Shay.
All right. Do you guys want to get into who your biggest surprise team of the season is going to be?
Yeah, my biggest surprise, and I have no reason for it. I have no research done in my decision. It's just strictly for the vibes. Brentford, let's go. Let's go. Brentford is gonna fuck people up this year, and I'm telling you that they're gonna do it playing beautifully. And Igor Thiago is gonna rack up 25 goals.
Playing aggressive football.
But that's my pick. That's my pick. Chris.
It's gonna be for me. It's gonna be Sunderland. I just feel like they're in a role. It's like if their first season was so good, just unless you figure out the manager and the playing style, I think they have not lost players. They probably, he probably knows the league better now. So I expect them to go, to reach another level.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I did
Shout
talk
out
about Nottingham.
to the Haitian striker playing at Sunderland, Isidore.
Okay. I spoke about Nottingham Forest early, but that would be my pick because they finished 16th last season and I think they're going to finish up higher in the table. But if not them, and I'm going to go with Fulham. I think the appointment of Aribola, I rate him. They also signed that striker from Real Madrid who scored, I believe, double-digit goals for Madrid last season. And, the two of them coming into a Fulham team who are, desperate for a new voice. Marco Silva took them very far. I think for them, they're going to catch some teams out. They're just going to be a good team this year.
Let me say something on that because before coming on here, I was looking at something, and I think the Atlantic, they really did not believe in Arbeloa. I don't know. It might be some British bias because he's Spanish.
It probably
and shit.
is, man.
They like, oh, we're not sure what he did. I'm like, bro, he came in, he stabilized the team. They didn't win stuff because they were playing against Barcelona and stuff, but
yeah,
I think he stabilized the team. So you're gonna get I remember him as a player. He plays with grit. That's why Mourinho liked him and stuff. So you can believe that he's gonna make that team gritty and stuff. The new striker that they signed, is he gonna
I want to give
replace?
respect. His name is Gonzalo Garcia, and he appeared 39 games for Real Madrid last season. He's 22 years old, so he was seen as the backup to Mbappe.
Yeah, but he barely. Him and Endrick was like Endrick left, but it's kind of like similar position. I don't think he's young. So unless he explodes, we're gonna see. I don't know.
I think
he reminds me of an old Spanish striker called Raul.
Raul, yeah.
Yeah, those type of guy. They know the goal when where the goal is gonna be. So he kind of reminds me of that. So we'll see if he is. I think I want to see him succeed first in the EPL because you can do that in Spain, but can you do that when guys are elbowing you and stuff? When Gabriel is fouling you and then they're not calling a penalty. Can you do that here? This probably, and he's not a tall guy, short.
He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot.
6 foot?
Yeah.
He's short.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
That's what it says on his transfer market profile.
I think Thomas had Leeds as his biggest surprise. All right.
Thomas picked Leeds. I mean, with the additions of Harry Wilson and James Trafford, I mean, they definitely have a chance to at least be better than last season.
I think goalie will make a pretty big difference, but I feel like before we go into the other topics, I mean, it may not be a bad idea to.
Sure, let's do it. You want to run through our top 6 real quick?
I want to go into top 6 because I want to go into then, like biggest jump in the table, like our biggest drop, because I think it has an impact. So yeah, boys, I will say that I know that all of us have Arsenal winning the title. I can't believe we're saying that.
Yeah, all 4 of us picked Arsenal to win the title. So that's pretty set in stone. And to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, kind of by default.
Yes.
Knowing what we know now, there's
too much uncertainty behind every other team but Arsenal. So it is easy thing to choose. The stability is there for them. So
and then it gets a little spicy.
It gets extremely.
Mark, go run through yours first, Mark.
I'm going City because I think that Maresca is going to show that he is the manager that everybody thought that he would be at Chelsea. I'm not saying that he's ever going to. Nobody can live up to Pep's expectations, but I do think that they're going to play good football. I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains. But I think with the state, it's funny I say that, the state, with the standards of the points expected to win the title, I think that Man City will be up there enough to finish second. And then I really, really like. I mean, I think it'll be closer between second and third than it will be between first and second. And I think the United are going to be right up there. I think that Michael Carrick's got United in the direction that the club wants it to be in. I don't know if they've made the signings that they've wanted to make this offseason as yet. But I do think that they have, their trajectory's on the way up, and I think that having Rashford there for a season, I'm such a big Rashford guy, so I think having him there, if the attitude is there, is gonna be great. And I'm a bit like I've mentioned earlier, Iraola's a great coach, so I think he's gonna have Liverpool playing the football that he wants to. And if that's the case, they will be playing Champions League football the following season, and I think they're gonna round out my top four. And then Chelsea, I got finishing fifth because they got a great squad. And I think that, they found the manager that will stay more than 2
At least
years.
more than 18 months.
Than 2 years. And I got Villa rounding out the top six because I think Villa's always going to be there. I just think that circumstances may not align, and I can't really go into detail because I don't know what those circumstances are, but I don't see them finishing in the top four. I see them just, right on the outside looking in, back in Europa League, still playing European football, but that's my top six.
All right, I'll go next. I mean, Arsenal winning. I think City are probably the safest bet to finish second, at least today. It looks like they're getting Boadi, Elliot Anderson coming in, and if you look at just the depth of that attack, like call it the front four, right? Of Doku, of Savinho, who's still there, of Marmoush, of Haaland, of Cherki, of Foden. That's a deep Semenyo, excuse me. Yeah, how did I forget Semenyo? That's a deep attacking, pool to choose from. I don't know about Maresca. I think this is the most gettable we'll see City in for a long time. So that for me, that's why. But I still they have the squad to manage multiple competitions, and I think Maresca might come good, enough to challenge Arsenal a little bit more. Third, I got Chelsea, and yes, there's a big question mark about Xabi Alonso, but they have a talented squad, and they're only playing a game a week. No. For the most of the season. And that, as we saw with United last year, can do wonders for a team. Similarly, I got Tottenham finishing fourth. De Zerbi's the man. De Zerbi's got investment. De Zerbi's doing what he has to do to elevate this Tottenham squad. Fifth, I got United, and that is so aspirational. I don't believe. I mean, I'm a United fan, right? So what I'm going to say is I jump on the bandwagon for the boys, I ride for the boys and all that, but I have been so disappointed with their window so far.
Right.
I don't necessarily hate the players, but we finished third with a new manager, and then we turn around and not back him to the extent that we did the last few seasons. This reminds me so much of that summer where Mourinho finished second, and we turned around and we were really expecting to push for a title, and we signed Lee Grant, Fred, and Diego Dalot, and that was our summer. This reminds me of that.
Don't disrespect that Fred signing, man.
United legends.
We were told all the stuff coming out was, United are going to back here. We're going to get 3 midfielders, we're going to get a backup striker, and we're going to get a left back. So far, we've gotten steals for Yuri Tielemans and Andre Santos, who are fine players. I think Santos could turn very well.
Yuri Tielemans is a boss signing, dude.
Is like a boss
signing.
Baller. But look at this team, and you look at what we need. Yes, I mean, Mark loves Rashford. I don't think you're going to find a bigger Rashford stan than me. To me, that's been my favorite player post Fergie. And the fact that he's coming back, I hope the attitude's right, and I hope he can deliver. But we need more. We need more. I can't stress this. This is the most wide open the Premier League has been forever. And we have I think our net spend is 35 mil. Or something like that. It's so low. It's ridiculous. And I understand United have cash flow problems. I understand, but there are still deals there's still deals that you can do. Lewis Hall has been rumored to want to come to United for the entire summer, and apparently that deal is now too difficult to pull off. right? We've been in for Kone forever. We've been in for Baleba. We've been in for all these guys, but they're just not getting done. And I'm not in the room. I don't know what's going on, but I just know that in the past, United have had to throw their weight around to get people done, and we just haven't seen that this season. And I have a really bad feeling that the leadership of Ineos and everything like that isn't going to deliver on that promise. So I could honestly see a world where, because of the multiple competitions, because United haven't strengthened, we finish outside of the top 6 next season and the cycle begins again. I hope that's not the case. I'm also going to second Thomas's earlier shout where he said he doesn't believe Bruno Fernandes will repeat the same performance as last season, because that's what it's going to take for us to even be in this conversation. 6, I have Villa, but with the caveat that
Villa 6th. Interesting.
Yeah, the summer's not over yet. And I think Villa are going to get pushed by the likes of Nottingham Forest, by the likes of potentially Bournemouth, by the likes of Brighton. Like,
I'm the only one that doesn't have Tottenham in their top 6.
I don't have Liverpool in my top 6.
That is very interesting and probably biased, but also interesting.
I just don't think. Okay, listen. These top 6 rankings, as we do them today, are subject to change at the end of the transfer window. That's when we lock them in, right? Every year, that's when we do it. I'm saying, as of right now, I don't think Liverpool have done
everything, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 2 weeks. Everything.
I don't think Liverpool have done enough.
True.
With the fact that this is historically been a very injury-prone squad.
Right.
And you have a bunch of new signings coming off of an injury. And Areola system's different from what these guys were playing before. And, that's just the nature of the beast. I think right now I just don't have enough confidence to put them in the top 6. But let's see what they do. That could change, right? I think they need a lot
absolutely.
of help in the midfield.
Before I want Chris to get into and justify whatever his second place team is here, Thomas's top 6 is Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, City, Aston Villa, and Tottenham finishing 6th.
I wish Thomas was here so we could debate how negative I am about our team.
Yeah, no, it would be hilarious. But no, Chris, please go through your top 6, bro. Please.
So, based on everything, observation, coach stability, Arsenal's going to be first again. I don't think there's much more to add. That, they strengthened. They got a Bruno to add to Rice. I don't think they're getting rid of Zubimendi, so you can rotate. Did Martellini left, right?
No, he might though. He might. He is not. He wasn't. I don't think he was part of their match day squad in the Community Shield.
So who's playing on the wing? Is that new kid? Solis, right?
Yep.
He looks good too, right?
He does. He looked good.
So Madueke was on the other side. So
he was, yes.
So Saka is they're gonna give Saka probably a good 3 months to just don't play football.
He came off the bench. He played half an hour.
Game? All right. So listen. They are the team to beat. My second team is gonna be Aston Villa. I just believe in the coach so much. Last season he pulled miracles. He's gonna do miracles again.
He's gonna need a triple miracle to finish second.
Listen, last season, I don't think anybody was expecting them to do anything. All of a sudden, they start to win games. This man knows how to coach.
Chris, they start too late. That shit happens every year, bro.
But you know what? They just signed Zion Suzuki.
Yeah, there's that too.
Well, you're saying that they didn't already have a goalie. Not like they didn't. They still had a quality goalie.
No, they did. But remember, they added João Gomes. They added Manzambi. They added Alejandro Garnacho for some fucking reason. And they got that center back, Cisse. I can't really pronounce his name, but they did get some quality in there. And now Suzuki.
Yep.
And it looks like
they swooped in. He chose Aston Villa over PSG.
Look, this man is probably gonna transform Garnacho into a superstar, and then everybody's gonna have their mouth right.
Oh my
That's
God.
how much faith.
Chris, no.
Yeah.
Chris, what's the coach's name? Because we keep mentioning the coach, but we should probably give him some respect.
Emery.
Well, Chris, finish up your top 6. You got Villa finishing second, which
is third is gonna be Tottenham. Is gonna De Zerbi's gonna bring some fucking 6 seconds or less offense. Mike D'Antoni style.
Mike D'Antoni it?
Yes. It's gonna be some bullshit like that. You're gonna be flying on the field and shit. So they're not gonna figure it out until mid-season how to stop it. Then it's gonna be Man City for the reason that Mark highlighted. I don't trust Maresca like that. I think some of the players are gonna. It's not his players. This is some of the problems with taking over a new team. You need to convince the players that about the way that you play. So there's a big possibility that if Man City doesn't start win or dominate games, so now the blame game starts, and they're not gonna accept Enzo Maresca screaming at them the same way they would accept Pep Guardiola screaming at them. So this is one to watch. Locker room drama.
Well, can I say this? Not to be
Go
that
ahead.
person, but can I say that he's been in that locker room probably screaming at some of those guys before?
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
But
Very good.
nonetheless, he's not Pep, so.
Very good point.
Mhm.
And then after that, I got, just to make Mark happy, I got Man United after. Listen, this is to make Mark happy, because that little midfield that he has with no legs, they're gonna run. Teams are gonna run through that shit, right? If they don't sign a destroyer. I hear Carlos Baleba and stuff. Listen, if they don't get legs, that to Tillermans, I call him a wonker. There's a reason I call him a wonker. He's great on the ball, technical.
I
think he could be that guy if they need him to be, Chris.
he can't move like that.
He can't move.
No,
He can't move.
I don't think he's not mobile enough. I think we need an athlete in there.
Exactly.
And the other problem
recognize
is, and the other problem is the other thing we're not really mentioning is Tielemans even gonna be in our first choice 11 with Kobe Mainu?
Yes.
No,
yes,
he's not starting over.
Yes.
He's
Listen,
not starting
Mark,
over Mainu.
You and United fans are the only one that have this Kobe Manu delusion. He's not good. He's not that
He's
guy.
nice. He's nice. Like he's
You
like
think
that. Like,
you think that Tielemans is going to be coming off the bench?
yeah.
You're delusional, dude. You're
Delusional.
Like, at full think
Well, we're gonna freaking find out.
I don't know if this is going to be necessarily their strongest 11 on Saturday because they still have guys coming back.
I don't give a
we'll
shit.
See.
I'm just saying that he's not. He's not coming off the bench, dude. They did not sign him off the.
Mark, you're gonna be complaining when that game starts because 11 starts. I can tell you. Let's make a bet right now. And just to be nice to Liverpool, and so I don't have like fans like you didn't even give us top 6. It's everything Mark said, but because I feel like they're gonna start slow because they need to get the system. Plus, I don't know if they're gonna get the players over the line. As Mark said, speaking right now, they need reinforcements. Soboslai is gonna be. Him and Gravenberg are gonna hold down the midfield spots. The problem is Gravenberg disciplined enough and Soboslai disciplined enough to protect the back line? Besides that, I'm not worried about the back line because I think Jake, Araujo, they got Leon. Is it Leone?
Leone.
Yeah,
Italian
Leone.
kid,
yeah, and then the Araujo can play right back too. So
that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, you said you're not concerned about the back line, but is depth not a concern if Connor Bradley and Frimpong are so chronically injured?
Well, that's the only thing. Is he gonna? I think some games he's gonna play Araujo when there's a winger probably at right back position, and I think when he wants to like suffocate a team, is gonna be Frimpong, right? So you have at least 3 guys that can play the position. Joe Gomez is still even injury prone. Is still there. Araujo, Virgil, Jake, and Leone is the 4 center backs.
Gomez.
Yeah, and Joe Gomez. And on the other side, you have Kirkes, which, he's been better than above average. Not totally good yet. He's good defensively. So, and then they have a backup for Kirkes. It's Kostas Tsimikas, Greek guy, right? Liverpool fans don't like him. I think he can do a service. He's not pulling trees.
He's a serviceable Premier League left back.
So there's a rumor that Chris Jones, is it Chris Jones? Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones might leave to go to Inter Milan. I think so. So Trey Leone is the new midfield that they have, young guy that I feel like is probably does more than McAllister. So McAllister doesn't even know if he's starting on that team. See, that was some of the beefs last year with Slot. it seems like no matter how much horrible games McAllister was having, he still was starting. But to be fair, he didn't have as much players, so they might have to add a body there if they're gonna let Jones walk. So this is probably, if you're gonna have a question mark about Liverpool, is whether or not Gravenberg and Szoboszlai, or you're not gonna pick up some injury and shit, because it's like two guys. You need at least four, I would say. McAllister, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So listen,
Do you have any concerns about Ekitike not coming back to full strength?
Ekitike, I'm not even worried for him this year. Like him, it's next season. Next season he's gonna.
Really, like 2027.
Yeah. It's the same way Rodri. Remember when Pep says Rodri's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
good?
yeah. Oh, when he you're saying when he gets
in the
back
World
to his
Cup.
best, like when he gets.
Yeah, so I'm not even counting on him.
Right.
I don't care. Like,
hopefully he doesn't have any setbacks or anything like that.
So it's gonna be Barcola, Isak, and Wirtz, and whoever's gonna play on that other wing. Rio, I don't think Rio's gonna.
We got 2 weeks
50
more.
games.
2 weeks more for the transfer window. So
they're not ready for any discussions, right? So that's the only reason why I'm putting them at 6. It can change. That depends on moves and shit, whatever. But I don't believe in it. Like, they're gonna have to convince me. And I'm still salty that they fired Slot. So fuck them.
They might have a better coach, but I want to go into the next topic. That's biggest drop in the table. Having gone through our top 6, our biggest jump in the table, I think all of you guys have Tottenham. To be quite honest with you, I think with their roster, the coach.
Yeah, no, I think. Sorry, it's probably going to be Tottenham. To go from like 17th to top 6 is a massive leap, but I also think it's a close second with Forest, with Glasner at the helm. They finished 16th last year, and that is, at least in my opinion, a top at least 8 team with Glasner at the helm. So
mine's Chelsea, because I think they're gonna go from what was it? I don't even know, the 14th or whatever it was. 10th. I think they're gonna be obviously jumping into the top 6. So I think that they're my biggest drop. Biggest drop in the table, though.
I would pick Newcastle. Except
are you changing to Newcastle?
No. I said I would pick Newcastle, but I know they finished like 13th last season. And
yeah.
I think Bournemouth finished 6th last year, and then me and Thomas picked the same team. But I love the Marco Rose appointment. I think it's great. I loved Alex Scott and Tyler Adams. I love Clivert. I love El Junior Krupi. But
there's a but somewhere in there.
Does Marco Rose have the sauce to finish 6th with that team?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. But does he have some sauce to not be the biggest drop? Or no?
Remember, they got Europa League.
Yeah. So they have more games to play. Thinking about those midweek games early in the season, and that could cost you playing later in the second half of the season. So I definitely get that. Yeah. So yeah, okay. You and Thomas have Bournemouth. I got Everton, because I think Everton they're up and down every single year. So I think that they can finish 17th one year and they can finish 8th another. Unless they play Liverpool, where they'll be drawing or beating them, or losing 1-0 at the last second off some BS from Van Dijk.
They've been able to hold on to Ndeye, right?
Yeah, they didn't lose Ndeye.
Okay, good.
Like, I absolutely don't believe, if they lost Ndeye, then I absolutely missed that.
Then you're absolutely right. If they lost Ndeye.
Yeah. Chris, biggest drop in the table.
This is for shits and giggles, because I just said that they're gonna finish 5th. But let's say the worst case scenario happens.
Oh my!
It's gonna be Benter. It's gonna be Benter the whole season,
bro. I'm so upset at this window. I'm so upset. Remember when we appointed Carrick full time? I said, you know what? If you give him like 300 million pounds of players, then it's okay. But
instead, you've given him
nothing. I mean, we're giving him like 2 players, but nothing, and a bunch of youth guys that like are apparently like shoo-ins for the first team, but they're still like 17. So I don't know what we're doing. But
I mean,
Case scenario, this is a 12th place United team. Best case scenario, this is a
The rumor is that he's
14.
upset. He's upset that he has
Mhm.
not gotten players and shit. But maybe fans running that shit on Twitter. Listen, that midfield hole, you did not replace Casemiro.
No, we didn't. That's what I'm saying. That's what.
So-
we don't have to belabor the points.
And then header goals from headers. Casemiro was
Mhm.
like leader in that shit. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
Maguire probably.
Well, let's not forget about the fact that our back line is messed up right now. Anyway, let's have some fun with it. Who gets relegated? Last day of the season.
They're the same team. The same team that I'm just saying it for the same teams that came up. Goodbye. See you later next year.
Why you
Good
gotta
luck.
do Ed Sheeran like that?
Good luck. Hey, congratulations on making it up.
No love for
20
Gary
points this
O'Neill.
year.
No love for Gary O'Neill. The GOAT.
No,
For Gary O'Neill, he gets negative love. No. 20.
Gary O'Neill is not coaching. Is coaching in the League now, right?
No, he's Ipswich.
Nah,
He's Ipswich manager.
I
Yeah.
just saw this morning.
You right? What did you?
I
No.
think
The
I'm
three
gonna
came
have
up.
some
They're
fun
coming
with it.
back. They're coming right back
No.
down. But Chris, or sorry, Mark. No. Mark, you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it because
I
are they
mean,
getting a point deduction? What's going on?
I think Ipswich and Hull go back down. I think they yo-yo. I think
Okay.
if anyone's got a shot, Coventry. And the reason I say that is Frank Lampard has an eye for talent. I don't know about his coaching chops, but if you look at his history and who he's discovered with guys like Diop and Mount and the list goes on with his time at Derby and other places. But I think Newcastle have been ripped to shreds. Like you're telling me right now that like without Bruno Guimaraes, without Sandro Tonali, without Anthony Gordon, without like potentially Livramento,
They might sign Nico Gonzalez from Man City.
They might, but at this moment in time, they haven't. So I'm only going off that.
Fair.
We're going off a midfield of Joe Ellington, that kid Stearns, and that's it. Nick Woltemata has been so disrespected in that Newcastle team. I can't even imagine. I don't rate Anthony Elanga. Harvey Barnes had 1 goal last season. This is, to me, has the makings of a complete... Yes, there's a new coach, new voice in the room. We'll see what he does. I actually don't hate him. I think he's interesting, but I just don't know if by the time the window is done, they'll have the talent to even be a...
So if Newcastle finishes above Man United, what are you gonna say after that? After all this little soliloquy you just...
I just don't think they will. That's the one thing I just don't think they will.
Apparently they're using Voltemade as a number 10 and Wissa,
which makes no sense.
But I don't know. Listen, because I watched him with Germany. Is he a 9? Maybe he's not a 9. Maybe he's more comfortable, like, I don't know, making the game and shit.
Maybe.
I'm not sure what advantage do you have as a tall ass number 10 in the middle of the field. I was surprised at how like dismissive you are of a former Man United academy player.
I never rated him. I did. I thought he had the perfect role at Forest, but I didn't. When he was coming to United, I was like, I get it, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't see it.
I think he over relies on his speed. I think that's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's Dan James, but a little bit better.
He's just like Gordon. Gordon is the same shit. I think Gordon relies too much on his. You need to look like a fucking professional player, like be able to like stop a ball and shit, do a pass over and shit. Gordon just like stops the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, because I was looking at Gordon even in Barcelona, even during the World Cup. I was like, I could see that there's a player there, but like, bro, like basic shit, like you need to get those.
No, I will shout out Johan Wissa did have a good World Cup, but like you need more than that. Like when I look at this team, I see a very flimsy midfield, and they're going to struggle a lot for goals.
Depending on what style of play, because it's not going to be Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, look, this is my thing with Elanga is this: how many appearances total do you think Elanga had last season? Under or over 30?
25. Under 30.
I'm talking all comps.
Under 30, 25.
He had 49 appearances for Newcastle last season.
Get the fuck out of here.
32 of those came in the league. Now, I want you to guess.
Holy shit.
How many goals did Anthony Alonga score last season in all competitions?
Is he? Nah, you
5.
cannot do that. You can't do that.
3.
My God. So
How many goals did Anthony Alonga score?
He played as much as he did, but I thought that he played as little as I said because he was that invisible in the game.
You know how many goals he scored in the Premier League?
None. Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say 0 because I don't remember Anthony Alonga scoring. Having said that, he's going to do it against City 17 times this year.
But you know what? If you look at his career, even that season where he was brilliant at Forest, he only scored 6 goals. That's his highest scoring season.
True.
So, I think there's a lot left to be desired for this Newcastle team.
I think you're being very harsh because
I think you are too, Mark.
Is he an inverted winger or a traditional winger that
I'm not just talking about Elanga though. I'm talking about that Newcastle team in general. Elanga could do whatever they want, whatever he can, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to put the ball in the net, and they don't have anyone, I think, that can put the ball in the net with regularity right now. Especially if Volkamada's in the 10.
I don't know where they find that coach, but they might surprise us.
He might. Young German guy. We'll see.
Well,
he's 38 years old, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I think it's been a fucking awesome episode. Just, Premier League predictions. Like, I'm just super excited for this season. Friday's Arsenal's game. Hope they lose. But before we get out of here, I feel like we should, kind of maybe bless the universe with a little parlay action. Maybe hit up a 5-game parlay. How do y'all feel about that?
I love it. I'm texting Thomas right now to see if he has any picks that he wants us to throw in there, but we should start. I think the goal here is we got to win.
I think we got to win, dude. Start the season off right. I think we want to start the season off better than we started it last year, which was
shocking, but let's get it going.
But I think we should start off with the league champs. I think I straight up think that we should. I know they're going to be huge. I think we should start off with the league champs.
Yeah, I think Arsenal. I think Arsenal do it.
I get United winning versus Hull City.
I think United. I think
I got United. I think United's a great one as well.
Yeah, I think the easy picks are the guys playing the newly promoted club. So United, Sunderland over Ipswich, and Arsenal over Coventry.
I will say Sunderland playing on the road is tough, but I love it.
But Sunderland only plus 163, at least when we put the odds in the sheets.
Yes, so
that's a juicy line.
It is a very, very juicy line.
I like Chelsea over Fulham.
I like Chelsea over Fulham too.
Yeah, I mean it's 2 new coaches. You got to think the investment Chelsea made in their squad and a new voice in the room kind of do.
I think if we're living on the edge of choosing Sunderland, I think choosing Chelsea is bold.
And Chelsea only plus 104 in this match, at least at the time of recording.
I think there's just so much more uncertainty. I think a lot of these games, you got teams starting on the road where it's like, oh man, it makes it a little bit tough.
And then for the last pick, let's choose between either, there's 3 games that stand out to me, or 4 games. Either Villa over Brighton, Tottenham over Brentford, Forest over Leeds, or Liverpool over Newcastle.
Newcastle are going to try to make a statement. Isak might kill them. I don't want to pick that game because it's emotional.
I think I agree with Chris.
There's a lot of hatred between Liverpool and Newcastle right now.
But those lines, man, Liverpool's only plus 100. That's juicy. But I think the other lines are better, so I'm good with it.
I like Villa, man. I really do like Villa.
This Brighton team, they lost Danny Welbeck. Who else did they lose?
The coach lost his hair.
I do know that they're signing Promise David, the Canadian striker, on a season-long loan. I know that's who Brighton recently signed.
Yeah.
Hey, did it team ask for Jonathan David, by the way?
I don't know.
I think there's a team that was asking for him, like, information. And Juve might be interested in loaning him out.
I'll be honest, I think Villa's probably the safest pick of the 3.
over Forest.
Forest over Leeds. I mean, yeah. Reason being that Leeds did improve. As much as I like Forest season long, week 1, that's a tough week 1 on the road.
I'm down for either Villa or Forest. I think we got to live life on the long edge.
Villa's plus 194.
Edge.
Villa's plus 194, which is a juicy line, which I like. Now, Brian's a trickier team, so give or take, but you still got to believe in Emery opening night to get it done, at least for me.
Bro, last season, our Aston Villa, fuck.
That's wait. Chris made a good point. Remember, they were in the relegation zone until like November or like October or something crazy like that.
They do not start seasons well. That is absolutely a fact.
So then, do you guys want to go Forest over Leeds? I mean, Tottenham. I mean, Thomas says.
I want to go Glasner vibes over Leeds.
All right.
Glasner vibes over Leeds.
No love for Tottenham or Brentford.
No, not on the road.
Okay.
All right, boys.
All right. So
lock in.
Our God, I need to come up with some crazy funny. Our Thomas needs to get better Wi-Fi connection. Parlay of the week is Arsenal over Coventry, United over Hull, Sunderland over Ipswich, Chelsea over Fulham, and Nottingham Forest to get the W over Leeds. I'm not sure what the odds aggregated are, but we'll put that in the description of the video just so everyone can follow along. Bet with us, fade us, whatever. Either way, let's get this money. Is anyone living in a state that you can... Thomas lives in Colorado. I think sports betting is legal there. We can always go through him.
I do live in a country that is, so...
That's right. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So either way, we'll put the bet in. We'll suffer with you guys. It'll be a great weekend of Premier League football.
Episode ever.
Fucking back. Let's
go.
So you guys already know what it is. Keep it locked in right here to Bathwater Sports Podcast for all your Premier League leads. It's going to be a great, great season, and we're going to be right here to break it down with each and every one of you. If you're new here, welcome. It's going to be fun. Please join us please follow along for the journey. Pick a team, comment, share, engage with us on social media. We can be found at Bathwater Sports everywhere except Instagram, where it's at Bathwater Sports Pod. Audio version of the episode drop Wednesday. Videos drop on Thursday. And that'll do it for us this week.
All right. Same bad time, same bad place next week, boys.
Let's go. Week 1. We'll be right back.
Match day 1.
Yeah, and we'll see if Thomas wants to add anything to this, but that's it.
Absolutely. Have a good night, boys.
Night.